He was the golden boy of Hollywood, handsome, charismatic, and effortlessly talented. From Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid to The Sting and The Great Gatsby. Robert Redford was the ultimate American movie star. But behind that iconic smile and timeless charm lies a life filled with heartbreak, loss, and tragedy few ever knew about. Beneath the glamour of fame, Robert Redford's story is one of quiet pain, resilience, and the heavy cost of a life lived in the spotlight. Robert Redford's rise to fame seemed like something out of a movie itself. Born in 1936 in Santa Monica, California, he grew up in a modest family, far removed from the glitz of Hollywood. His early years were marked by struggle and insecurity. He wasn't the confident star we later saw on screen. After losing his mother at just 18 years old, Redford's world was shattered. Her death, sudden and unexpected, left a void that would follow him throughout his life. That tragedy changed him forever, shaping both the man and the artist he would become. After a brief and turbulent college career, Redford traveled through Europe, painting and drinking, trying to find himself. When he returned to the U.S., he turned his attention to acting, and that's when everything changed. He quickly became one of the brightest stars in Hollywood with rugged good looks and undeniable screen presence. His performances in Barefoot in the Park, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid, and The Way We Were made him a household name. But success didn't erase the pain he carried inside. While the public saw a man who had everything, fame, fortune, and talent, Redford's personal life was often clouded by tragedy. In 1958, he married his college sweetheart, Lola Van Wagenen, and together they had 4 children. But just a few months after the birth of their first son, Scott, tragedy struck again. Scott died suddenly of sudden infant death syndrome (SIDS), an unimaginable loss that devastated Redford and Lola. In later interviews, Redford admitted that he never fully recovered from losing his child, saying it was a wound that time could never heal. Despite his grief, Redford continued to pour his soul into his work. The 1970s marked his golden era. He became one of the highest-paid actors in the world and transitioned into directing, winning an Academy Award for Ordinary People in 1981. Ironically, the film, a raw story about grief and loss within a family, reflected the pain that had haunted him for years. But even as his career reached incredible heights, his personal life was unraveling. His marriage to Lola ended in divorce in 1985. After nearly 3 decades together, Redford later found love again with his second wife, Sebiel Schagers, a German artist. But tragedy seemed to shadow him wherever he went. In 2020, he faced one of the darkest moments of his life, when his son James, known as Jamie, passed away at age 58 after a long battle with cancer. Jamie had followed in his father's footsteps, becoming a filmmaker and environmental activist, and his death left Robert heartbroken once again. Those close to him say he withdrew even further from public life, spending his final working years quietly, focusing on his art, nature, and his family. Over the decades, Redford's legacy became larger than life. He not only conquered Hollywood, but also transformed the film industry by founding the Sundance Film Festival, a platform that gave voice to independent filmmakers and reshaped modern cinema. Yet, for all his achievements, those who truly knew him said he carried a deep sadness beneath his calm demeanor. He once said, "Success covers a lot of wounds, but it doesn't heal them." Now, in his late 80s, Robert Redford lives a quiet life away from the cameras, reflecting on a career that defined an era and a life marked by both triumph and heartbreak. His story is not just about fame or fortune, it's about endurance, loss, and the unbreakable human spirit. The tragedy of Robert K. Redford isn't that he fell from fame or lost his fortune, it's that behind every smile, every award, and every perfectly delivered line, there was a man quietly carrying the weight of grief. His legacy reminds us that even the brightest stars cast the deepest shadows. And sometimes, the saddest stories belong to the ones who seem to have it all.